Gita chapter 8, verse 1. Arjun said to Lord Sri Krishna, O Purushottam, what is that Brahma? What is the Adhyatma? What is Karma? What is declared to be Adibhut? And what is Adidev said to me? These questions arise by the Arjuna to Lord Sri Krishna. Gita chapter 8, verse 2. Who and how is Adhigyan here in this body? O Madhusudan, how the self-restrained people realize you at the time of death? Such a wonderful questions arises by the Arjuna for the welfare of all human beings for many centuries. And listening these questions from Arjuna, Sri Krishna, with a great smile on his face and wise words, said, Gita chapter 8, verse 3. The supreme, imperishable, and immortal is called Brahma. It means Brahma can't be perishable and Brahma is always immortal. And its eternal nature, which dwells in each individual body, is called Adhyatma. As word itself explains, that when you start looking inside yourself, when you start introspecting yourself in each deeds, the Adhyatma will appear inside you. The evaluation of being and the creation of the physical body is called karma, that is actions. As Sri Krishna saying this to Arjuna. Gita chapter 8, verse 4. All perishable beings are Adibhut. The individual source is Adidev. O Devbratam, within this body, I am Adigyana, means the Lord of all sacred sacrifices. So Adigyan is the supreme power, supreme soul, the Almighty. Gita chapter 8, verse 5. At the time of death, he who departs from his body, remembering me alone, he attains me. There is no doubt about it. It means what last deeds or last words come out in your mind when the soul departs from this body, you will attain that. And when someone is remembering that powerful Almighty God, definitely he attains that. As you can see that to keeping this word is very easy, but in the practice, that your brain works for the Almighty's thought, that's words is coming in your mind or coming out from your mouth. It's all required a very, very deep concentration and regular practice, then it only possible. Gita chapter 8, verse 6. Sri Krishna continue with his wise word to Arjuna says, O Kaunteya, whosoever at the end leaves the body, thinking of any being, to that being only he goes because of his constant thought of that being. That is what we always require, to keep the good thought about ourselves and keep praying, keep imitating what Almighty has given us in a thought process. That is very much required for all individuals. Gita chapter 8, verse 7. Therefore, O Arjun, you should always think of me at all the times and fight the war. In this way, with your mind and intellect set on me, you will attain me undoubtedly. What Sri Krishna says in the earlier way to the Arjuna, that you have to first control your senses, then you have to control your mind, then you have to control your intellect, and totally surrendering yourself to Atma, that is soul. That soul will be in there with the Paramatma, the Almighty. Gita chapter 8, verse 8. O Parth, with the mind not moving towards anything else, make steadfast by the method of habitual meditations and dwelling on the Parampurush, and goes to him. Here in this verse, Sri Krishna says this to Arjun, that how you can control your mind through the meditations and dwelling on the Parampurusha. Gita chapter 8, verse 9. Whosoever meditates upon the omniscient, the ancient, the ruler of the whole world, minuter than the atoms, the supporter of all of form, inconceivable, effulgent like the sun, and beyond the dark of ignorance. Gita chapter 8, verse 10. One who with a stable mind and full devotion, holding the prana between two eyebrows, with the power of yoga, concentrations on the God at the time of death, certainly attend to the Paramapurusha. That is what we have to give the thoughts, that how one can do the meditation, how one can have the full concentrations regarding the Almighty. This can only possible through the regular practice, regular meditations, and regular positive thoughts regarding the Almighty. Gita chapter 8, verse 11. I will explain you in brief, as Sri Krishna said this to Arjuna. The state to which the knower of Ved call the imperishable Om Akshar, the state where the ascetics free of worldly attachment enters, and the state which is desired by the people who practice life of self-control, that is very much required to attain the things when you have the self-control on anything. Gita chapter 8, verse 12. All the gates of the body restrain the mind confined within the heart, keeping substance in mind, established in concentrations by yoga. So when you do the yoga, when you do the meditations, your full concentration will come to the Almighty only. Gita chapter 8, verse 13. He who utters the single syllable Om, which is Brahma, remembering me as the departs, giving us his body, he goes to the highest goal of the Paramagati. Gita chapter 8, verse 14. O Parth, I am easily attainable by that ever steadfast yogi who constantly remember and meditates on me daily, not thinking of anything else. So have your thought, have your deeds, have your actions should always with the keeping in the mind of that Brahma, that Almighty, that Super Soul, always, all the time, in all the things.